Well, it's 2023, and that is an incredible year for Genius Garage because this is our 10th anniversary of the 501c3 nonprofit, which frankly is amazing looking back because I think of all of the students that I worked with the whole goal of helping them launch careers and get jobs. And now they're all over the country and world. And manufacturers, Fiat Chrysler, Dana, Goodyear, GM, Tesla. They're working on race cars, exotic cars, restoring cars. And it's amazing the jobs they've gotten because of Genius Garage. And that goes back way back when to me having unsatisfactory college career and really having no good direction or mentor and wanting to be that change in the world that I found to be a problem. But anyway, this video we're going to talk about how to apply for 2023 for the students, as well as all of the exciting things coming up. So the application aspect will be at the end, but I want to talk a little bit about what we got. So first and foremost, the Lotus T125 Exosphere. This car was in fact donated to Genius Garage a year ago. And this exact car, and I don't mean one of the other ones like it, but this car is the third fastest car ever around the original Top Gear track. It was beaten by, I believe, a Renault F1 car, some sort of Volkswagen prototype race car, and then of course this was the third fastest with Jeremy Clarkson and Jean Lacey having fun with, and of course the Stig. So you can check that out on YouTube. But this car will be going out testing and racing this year with Genius Garage students. We'll talk about the details of that. Behind us is a unicorn of a car, and this is a Riley Mark 22 Daytona prototype, which was built outside the rules of Daytona prototypes, much like this was built outside the rules of F1. But this one is powered by the bored and stroked Dynon-built BMW V10 engine, which last year with the students we got going and rebuilt and put it all back together, and now it's running, but it needs all the final full setup and whatnot. And you'll also notice, of course, some of the orange paint from underneath is still showing, and we're in the process of finishing the wrap on it. But that's another great car for Genius Garage that will be going out this year testing and racing. And today I just got word of an exciting relating company that is going to help support that for a premier event for the students. So that's neat. Of course, we've got the yellow IMSA Corvette from the late 1980s. It's a Riggins tube chassis, and that has been a mainstay car for students for about 6 seasons of Genius Garage and launched a lot of careers and been a lot of fun memories. Now that car is sitting up on a shelf in storage, so we can concentrate on the other cars this year, but it's always there as a good old reliable backup in case something that we like breaks or something and we can't get it back in order enough for the races in the student program. Beyond that, we have the Guanxi SSJ prototype car from the early 1980s. It's a mid-engine American sports car powered by a V8 that we have the opportunity to refurbish and get going. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And then just over here off camera is the Genius Garage sprint car that we were part of with the Midwest Throwback Sprint Car Series. So maybe do a little bit more with that as well. But the big project for this year, in terms of the hands-on aspect of engineering and design at the shop, is we have the 1997 Mauricio Gugelmin Pac West Champ Car. Champ Car, of course, being the split from Indy cars. And the engines went back to the factories. This one, I believe, was powered originally by a Mercedes. And that was the car that a year or so ago was working with a student and working to design things. Frankly, that project didn't go as well as we had hoped. So I personally have taken on the responsibility of ensuring that the machining to take a Honda K-Series 4-cylinder and make that a structural, usable member of that car and put it back together will be done and finished for the program. And the reason being is the Champ Car, or Indy car, as we can call it commonly, will be used with that K-Series as a rolling dyno, so that now in Genius Garage with the Honda K-Series, we will be able to do engine building with the students and testing and tuning with a real-world vehicle where they can see the fruits of their labors in engine building right away. And also, frankly, from the aspect of running the nonprofit, I do like the K-Series motor because it's quite inexpensive compared to many things in case something goes boom, boom. But anyway, beyond that, Genius Garage does have a few nice racing karts with the LO206 engines on them, and recently picked up another one that'll be a great project to put together, take out to the track, let the students drive that, figure it out, set it up, and I think the karts are a really great way to get young people into performance driving for the sake of understanding testing and dynamics and engineering. Plus, it gives them a great new respect for what it takes to actually drive a professional level racing car like some of these. Now, for the few people that might ask this. We do not put the students in like the F1 car, the Daytona prototype, or any of the professional level racing cars for a myriad of reasons, which I'm thinking everybody can figure out quickly beyond just liability and cost, but of course some risk, etc. So, you do have a high-level driver to work with it, so all the students can come together into teamwork, learn that actual engineering and hand skill, and give them that high-level real-world experience that simply can't be done in school. There's a lot of great programs in the university life in America, such as the SAE or Formula SAE programs, and that's nice within the confines of academia. But with Genius Garage, I wanted to take it to a much higher level and do something that is right there on the cusp of being professional. So currently over the winter, what I've been doing is a lot of phone calls, straightening up, getting things ready for students and the opportunity to do this, and some very exciting connections to companies and people. Notice I'm kind of talking quietly and deliberately. It's because I got a lot of cool cards up my sleeve for the students. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, so that's what's going to go on. Obviously, this is the front room here at the building, which is dedicated to Genius Garage, the race cars and the students. The back part of the building is where I do my personal YouTube builds and such. For some people that don't quite get that, Genius Garage, obviously a 501c3, owns these race cars. And they exist only for the sake of teaching. That's why you don't see me personally going out and playing with them and working on doing things like that. So these guys are for teaching. And since, of course, I don't get paid at Genius Garage, we don't have another building or other people working here. So it's important that it's at the same place where I do what I do for a living with YouTube. That way I can be here for mentoring and guiding and helping the students in their journey to get experience and launch jobs. So just as a note, that's what's up with that. Plus it makes for a nice fun environment, and some of the stuff that I do of my own and my own builds, they sort of learn through osmosis by being around and seeing and just talking about it. It makes for good camaraderie too. And also, because of this YouTube channel and how you are now seeing this and hearing this, this has been the absolute crucial piece of the puzzle that has allowed Genius Garage to have enough exposure and connection to the public to be able to exist, because there's so many kind people out there that are help, mentor, or donate, or connect. And as a note with regard to that, also in 2023, for our 10-year anniversary, Genius Garage, the nonprofit, owns a blue with white stripes 1997 Dodge Viper GTS. It's a very nice car, never been wrecked, clean title, like about 33,000 miles, and that car will be given away at the end of this year in November, and that's part of the Tap Cat sweepstakes. You can go down in the description below and get information on that, but you can actually donate to Genius Garage, and depending on how much you donate, you get X number of tickets, obviously more for more donations, and someone will be chosen at random by computer, and which I cannot actually know who they are. So if you want to donate and get a ticket, don't become my friend, because you can't win. But anyway, that's going to happen, and I'm really excited about that fundraiser for Genius Garage. The Tap Cat sweepstakes, I vetted them out over a number of years. They're really great, with 90% of the money actually going to the charity, and it was created really just to fund deserving nonprofits and automotive museums and things like that. So really good. Check them out in the description below. So now getting into the time relating to this year and students. Okay, so I like to do this high level and real world. This is not a classroom. I'm not going to hold your hand. I'm here to lift you up and give you the opportunity and mentor, bring people in and facilitate your journey to go somewhere great in a way that I know works very well, but it's not a classroom. Now I say that because the requirements are basic and the way to apply is basic, but by keeping it somewhat simple, we're going to find out what you're made of from the moment you make contact. So keep that in mind. Anyway, Genius Garage is open to college-aged students, typically. So the basic requirements are you have to be 18 years old and older. You have to be reasonably able-bodied enough that you can, in fact, work on cars and engineers and such. Notice I said reasonably. And that's the biggest thing. Obviously, we speak English here. And you need to be able to exist in Northwest Ohio for the period of time with which that you're part of Genius Garage. Sometimes students come and just do this on their own. They can afford to do that. Some students may get a part-time job as well, but you'll need transportation and you need somewhere to live. Beyond that, part of what Genius Garage is and how I created this, and I felt important, I never wanted somebody to be chosen based upon what their last name is or any silly factors about them, beyond just what's in their head and in their hearts. So I go out and get the funding so that Genius Garage can effectively offer scholarships. So there is no cost to students to be part of this, whether that's the adult student program with the race cars, or whether it's a junior level program such as I'm doing this winter actually with some nice young people and their fathers with radio control racing, actually with an indoor track here. And in the past we've done things with slot cars as well for younger students, but no cost. But you do have to be able to live here, you do have to have transportation and exist for the period of time to have your experience. Now, time duration for Genius Garage. First and foremost, applications, I want to see them come in by February 15th, day after Valentine's, middle of February. Sooner is better. Reach out if you have some questions, of course. But here's how you do it. You're going to send an email. In the subject of the email, write 2023 application. That is important. Yes, I'm judging you. In the email, have a greeting, have an ending, have a body. Use punctuation, spell things properly. Generally speaking, not a problem. I'm throwing you guys a bone. But, so write a nice email introducing, obviously, with the application. But you need to write a cover letter, that's quite important, and you need to include a current copy of your resume. Now, on that resume, don't think that stuff like working on your car, changing an engine, building radio control cars, or building anything isn't important. I am not a professor at academia. I am not a stick-in-the-mud HR person that you think you have to pretend to be something. You need to be professional, and you need to be real, and we want to see what you're all about. Because just going to school and getting good grades is not enough. It comes down to who you are, what the drive is, and where you're going in life, of course. But the most important part is the cover letter. Now, in the past, the cover letter, there was twofold things. One, write about why Genius Garage would be important for you in your life right now and your career. Notice I said life and career and right now. The other part is, why are you a good person for Genius Garage, its students, and the organization's future? Notice I say person, don't rehash your resume. But I'm going to add something to this because we want to see what your mindset is and where you're going and what you're doing. So, 3 items. We'd like to know what you think the 3 biggest problems are in modern civilization or Western society. And with each one of those things, when you describe it, why it's a problem, what its negative effect is, what's going on, we'd like to know what would you do to fix it? And how would that change the world? And then the last and most important part with those 3 problems, what have you already been doing as an individual to make a positive change where you see problems for the world? That's it, guys. So those are the 2 things to send in. From there, we're going to look at it, kind of figure out what your deal is, and take it from there. That's the minimum. Note, I didn't tell you how to write it. I didn't tell you how long the application letter has to be. It's totally open-ended because this is the real world and everybody's different. So make it count. But that's that. So with regard to choices, you'll be being reached out to quickly thereafter, and we can get going. Now, durations of time for Genius Garage. It's so open-ended, Casey. You're right, it is open-ended. Now, the reason being is simple. Everybody is different from a different place. Some people are in school, some people are not in school, some people are in the military, some people have things they have to take care of at home. So notice I said 2023. That's the entirety of this year. Now, typically in the past, programs have lasted anywhere from 3 months to 6 months. And students have worked part-time, a few that have even spent nearly full-time with some of their studies and creations and builds. But that's what it's about. We work here at Genius Garage Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. That's the span of time we typically work, unless there's some sort of project that we have to do, or unless we're going to a dynamic like racing event or testing or show or something, and that would relate to some travel together. But if you're able to come, I'm just hypothetically saying, February to March, great. Write that down in your application. If you're able to come immediately for the whole year, theoretical, I'm not saying you're going to, write that down in your application. If you're part of a military academy and only have a month-long break at some point, you don't quite know when it is, but that's what it is, great. Put that down in your application. That's what it is, guys. You know, I, in fact, as an individual, was the person that came up with Genius Garage. And I've been the one that's put the most hours in mentoring and leading and helping create this opportunity. There is no way on earth Genius Garage would have existed past year one had there not been people that helped, contributed, like just patted me on the shoulder when I was like losing my mind, trying to make something for the betterment of the future. People that have contributed in big ways, maybe the Exosphere. People who have contributed in small ways. Maybe somebody sent tools. Maybe somebody donated a little so students could go somewhere. That all matters. And all of these people together have made Genius Garage exist. But beyond that too, you have to give credit to the students that were here as well. Because while other people that don't even know them have contributed their time, their money, their property, their heart to help give these students this opportunity, you have to give credit to all the students that have been here before of putting their own investment of time, their own money to live and be here, work, and their heart into it, to being the best growth and best versions of themselves that they can be, and also to be a teammate to everybody else. So it really has become a family to make this possible. So I just want to give an acknowledgement to everybody that has walked through these doors, metaphorically speaking, that has been part of it. Because this meant a lot to me to create. It is blood, sweat, and tears, I promise you that. You know, I've said to people I would be a lot better off in my own personal life had I never created Genius Garage. Well, that's true in a manner of speaking, monetarily and time-wise. I could have gone and done my own thing. You know, with the amount of time I put in Genius Garage over the last 10 years, if I would have just gone and worked at my own career, I could have bought my own one of these things. But that's not what I did. I used my time to create something of meaning to help young people all around the country and the world and make a better tomorrow. And as a small note, I want to make this. This is a very divisive and horrible time in the Western world, and especially America. And a lot of people feel good and pat themselves on the back for attacking others because they think they're creating some sort of noble cause or feeling good for whatever it may be. But I ask you and I ask all those people, okay, great. You want to voice your opinion. You want to tear others down because you don't like something. But what have you actually done to make things better? Physically. Be the change you want to see in the world. That's what I've done. And I realized that only a certain number of students have been able to come through here. But because of things like YouTube, but because of being out there, by being an example, there are thousands of people that are inspired by what's going on here to also make the world a better place. Actions speak louder than words, guys. So, yeah, I went on kind of crazy crusade when I was about a little over 30 years old to create Genius Garage, but I felt it needed to exist, and it does. So, you have until February 15th to get your applications in. An email, 2023 application in the subject line, a nice written email with a cover letter and a resume. You remember what I said about the cover letter? You can do more, you can do less, but that's what you got to do, and we'll start there. And we need to know when your window of time, theoretically, is that you could be part of something like this. So how Genius Garage will roll is this year. When students come here to be part of it, they will be part of projects, such as engine building with a K-series, building a turbo motor, programming it, tuning it, testing the car, taking it out, building a racing cart, taking the racing cart to the track and actually getting to drive that. And I've got my own personal cart, so we'll get to have some fun together with that. Maybe we'll be preparing the Exosphere together. Maybe we'll be finishing the Daytona prototype, and we've got the sprint car. But the beautiful thing about Genius Garage is, and this is my absolute favorite part, there is no ceiling. We've got a cool place, metaphorically speaking and physically speaking, literally. We have opportunities, we have tools. But every year at Genius Garage, some very cool things we never expect happen. And new opportunities come their way for students. So when I say there's no ceiling, I mean there's no ceiling. Because together, me contributing and helping and working and making phone calls and setting an example with the student, with your people, with all of your interest and investment, efforts, smiles, and heart, we can go a long way. So maybe we'll build all these things and have to come up with a new project or a new adventure, or a new challenge to grow and learn together. And that's what I hope for. So these are the things we have to work with. We're going to put that Indy car back together with the K-Series Honda, tuned with the students, buy that, dyno tune. That's going to be really exciting. We're going to do the kart. And we're going to look after all these other cars and learn from them. But there's one small difference. Just the students that are here this year are not necessarily going to be the only ones who get to go to races. The races now will be a special occasion. So past students that have exemplified themselves will be invited back to be part of the team that goes to races. And current students that have or are exemplifying themselves will be invited to go to races. So that will be a higher honor part of Gina's Garage. So this year, we will be building and learning here with the students, including the karts and the Indy cars and the engine building and all that cool stuff. And then, so it'll be fun. You get to see the reunion of some past students when we go racing with things like the Exosphere. But if you remember, I said in the application letter, what are the 3 biggest problems you see in society? What would you do to change them if you could? But most importantly, possibly, what have you been doing to make the world a better place? Because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. So, for the young people who want to go somewhere in engineering, motorsports, the automotive world, and everything related, and you're ready to work with your own 2 hands and work, that's awesome. I'm going to help you do that. But remember, none of us, including all of you that are watching, are entitled to anything. The beautiful thing about the United States of America is we all get an equal start. But that doesn't mean we're going to end up equal. If you want to go somewhere, you get out of it what you put into it. And I'm ready, willing, and able to invest a lot for the students who want to stand up and go somewhere in life. And we're going to do that together. That's it, guys. That's Gina's Garage. I hope I'm not forgetting anything, but a huge thank you to everybody that's ever been part of Gina's Garage. This is our 10th anniversary. We are giving away that Dodge Viper that's, of course, owned by Gina's Garage with the Tap Cat sweepstakes. You can find out in the description below. That'll be later this year. I will do a YouTube unveil and all that fun stuff. And there will be a big Gina's Garage banquet and party toward the end of the year as well. So that's it. Stay tuned. Follow Gina's Garage on Facebook and whatnot. I'll put out some videos showcasing all the great things going on. Please share this. And let's find those brilliant young people, help them get somewhere. And beyond that, on my channel, if you're watching, for me personally, I didn't get to go where I wanted to as a young person. Didn't have that mentor, didn't have that direction. I fought for a long time to figure things out. And I did it all by tooth and nail and fighting. And after mentoring students while I was down in Columbus, Ohio State, engineering students, and seeing what they needed to really get their jobs and launch, that's what I did to create Gina's Garage. But doesn't mean I'm not still going to try to go somewhere cool too, personally and professionally. But I am going to keep doing Gina's Garage because I think it's important. So if you want to come back to this channel, I can promise you this, 2023 is going to be really interesting. See you guys around.